Hi, I'm Cameron Memmott, and today I want to start out by showing you one of the most influential pieces of paper in the world today, and that is the United States $100 bill. There's a lot to unpack this little tiny bill, a lot of things that come to mind when we see it. So let's look at it a little bit deeper. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you see this $100 bill? Maybe it's the fact that it's green, or maybe it's some of the symbols on the bill itself. Maybe it's the United States Mint insignia, whatever it may be. I know that today, when I got off work late and had missed lunch, the first thing that came to mind was, how many dollar tacos can I buy at Taco Bell with this bill? And the answer is a lot of tacos. Now granted, I did not buy $100 worth of tacos from Taco Bell, as much as I wanted to. What are some other things that stand out to you? I know one of the biggest things that stands out to me is who the United States government places as the face of the bill. And that's Benjamin Franklin. And Benjamin Franklin was an amazing guy. He wore so many different hats and was so good at so many different things. He was a fantastic politician, a great businessman. He knew the law better than just about everyone of his day and age, and really probably more than anyone today. In fact, he's so influential that people like world-renowned presenter Dale Carnegie referenced him dozens, if not hundreds of times in his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, to even your U.S. history teacher from high school probably mentioned him at least 50 times, if not 3 times a day, if your teacher was anything like mine. Benjamin Franklin was just a fantastic guy. He was good at so many different things. And the chances of any of us being like him is, well, when we think about it, pretty slim. Now, it's not to be a Debbie Downer and say that you can't achieve your dreams, but the chances of you being so good at so many different things is pretty slim. But how can we change that? The best way is to come together in a group and pool our talents together. And when we do that, we can achieve things that even Benjamin Franklin couldn't. And this whole concept relies on one point, and that's to embrace specialization. Why should you embrace specialization? It magnifies strengths. When we think about specialization, most of the time we think about this point, that when you specialize in something, you just become really good at it. And that's true. You should become good at what you specialize in, or else you won't be there long. When you specialize in something, you're focused on it, and you understand it better. And when you do that, you're able to be more skilled in that, whatever that trade is, or whatever that specific task is. That's really important, because if you become really good at something, you can become an expert in it. And that's when things change. That's when you're able to get a lot more done with a lot less time and do it at a much better level. What's another reason you should embrace specialization? It minimizes weakness. One of my favorite sayings is addition by subtraction. And that's very true when it comes to specialization. A lot of times we think about, I'm just focusing in on one thing and I'm just going to do that. Well, what's everything else you're leaving behind? A lot of that stuff is stuff you aren't actually good at when you specialize. That's a great thing. That's a huge benefit. Because those things that you aren't good at tend to cause a lot of problems. They really mess with your morale. Because when you think about it, when you're doing things that you aren't good at, you tend to become frustrated. Things take a lot longer than they should, or at least in comparison to the guy next to you. And you tend to create a lot of errors, which makes your boss unhappy or makes whoever you're doing service for unhappy. So when we specialize in things, we minimize a lot of avoidable errors and a lot of avoidable problems, which is a very, very big benefit. And in addition, for a little bit of subtraction. But what's the most important reason you should embrace specialization? It multiplies effectiveness. See, when you specialize in something and do so at a group level, you're able to accomplish a lot more at such a high level that just starts to compound and snowball. When we think, for example, building a house, it's not just one person building a house. There are a lot of different people working together. They all specialize in different things. For me, I work as a garage door installer. And in that, I work on a lot of houses. I focus solely on the garage door. I specialize in that. Granted, I could do a lot of the other jobs, but it'd take a lot of supervision, a lot of training. As for the garage door, set me with a garage door down at any job site and I'll get it done lickety-split. That's what happens when you specialize. You're able to produce at a greater rate, at a greater quantity, and do so with a higher level of quality. See, when it comes to garage doors that I specialize in, I'm able to get it done very fast, but I do it very, very well. There's not a whole lot of errors involved. If you were to grab just another tradesman at a home, you probably couldn't do a garage door in half a day, let alone get it done in 2 hours. And there'd be a lot of problems involved. You'd have a lot of questions and a lot of hardships. When you specialize in things, you've been around the block a time or two. You know a lot of the problems that arise and you're able to tackle them before they even appear. So when you combine all these things together, the output that you produce and the quality of that is far and beyond anything that a single individual could do. So in review, why should you embrace specialization? It magnifies strengths, minimizes weakness, and multiplies effectiveness. Embrace specialization. Thank you.